Hallo Leute und willkommen zurück zu The Council, wo wir hier im großen Konferenzsaal sind. Wir haben alle schon angequatscht und hier stehen überall auch noch ein paar Materialien rum, die wir aufsammeln können, aber nicht jetzt. Das machen wir später, weil wir gerade voll sind oder so gut wie voll auf jeden Fall. Ich wollte Manipulation auch öfter nutzen, das ist mir jetzt in der Pause zwischendurch auch noch eingefallen. Dafür muss ich aber... Boah, 12 Punkte. Noch deutlich besser werden, wollte ich eigentlich sagen. Beim nächsten Mal können wir ein Logikbuch lesen, dann haben wir Logik auf Level 2, das ist ja auch schon mal was. Ich würde gerne die Gewandtheit auch noch beim nächsten Mal steigern. Einfach aus Angst, dass noch irgendwann ein Kampf kommt, bei dem wir es brauchen. Und in der Hoffnung, dass irgendwann, dass wir mehr Bücher irgendwo runterhangeln können, wisst ihr? Was vielleicht aber überhaupt nicht der Fall ist. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Das ist so ein Herz. Warum ist das Luft? Ach, wegen dem Dreieck wahrscheinlich, ne? Hoch und runter und so. Ja, ich weiß schon. Ist der Magnetstein wirklich nur für den Schlüssel gut gewesen damals? Ah. Na, auf jeden Fall, wenn wir beim nächsten Mal 3 Bücher lesen können, kommt auf jeden Fall Logik mit in die Tasche. Ja, und mal gucken. Dann ist es ja fast schon egal, was wir als anderes haben. Wir müssen auf jeden Fall noch mehr Bücher finden. Und im Idealfall die hier. Ja. Okay, Leute. Genug geguckt hier. Quatschen wir die mal an.
Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly, but what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry, you are not alone, Louis.
Very well. In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are 2 masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the 2 masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
Das klingt ja alles gar nicht schlecht, ne?
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings. Louis, let me keep you a moment.
Nein, 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 nein. Das war versehentlich. Ich will die letzte Frage noch
I would
stellen.
like to let you in on a secret before we
Scheiße.
begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French.
But how does that concern me?
Well, you see, I prepared this project with your mother. We began thinking about a crazy idea. Unfortunately, Sarah went missing before getting the bigger picture. I don't intend to stop at Louisiana. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
But why spread it over 2 phases? Why not announce the overall project immediately?
Unfortunately, if Spain were to hear that the intention of all this is to allow the United States to grow, they would never sign. Manuel Godoy is perfectly aware of President Washington's appetite. If the United States took Louisiana, Godoy would know full well that he will have lost the entire North American continent. Things must take place in several stages. Otherwise, the change will be too brutal, and he will have no choice but to reject the project. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts. My friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? But I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not a question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
Senor Godoy, you must know that France will soon ban these barbaric practices.
Oh, do not get on your high horse, Monsieur Frenchman. The only reason why France has ceased trading in slaves is because of the commercial blockade that Great Britain has imposed against you. The instant the shipping lanes have been restored, France will again treat these people like cattle.
Come now, my friends, let us not digress. Anyway, these primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them in order to save them. You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits, too.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, Your Eminence, I shall continue. Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Habe ich recht, Monsieur de Richet, oder können Sie irgendwas mit diesem Vorschlag anfangen? Schutz vor den Amerikanern? Wartet mal kurz. Nee, hier war's. Wo ist er? Godoy? Bei dem kenne ich halt auch noch nichts. Kacke. Schutz vor den Engländern. Ich sag mal nichts. Würde ich sagen, Schutz vor den Amerikanern, würde ich Mortimers Vorschlag verteidigen. Und ich habe gerade wegen Peru und dieser ganzen Sache auch die Tendenz dazu, nicht nach Mortimers Pfeife zu tanzen. Ich weiß nicht ganz, was er mit Schutz vor den Engländern will. Ich sag nichts.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Frankreich wird die Christen beschützen. Frankreich kann die päpstliche Meinung egal sein. Mortimers Weltkarten in Erinnerung
On the
rufen.
maps of Italy I saw in Mortimer's secret study, he had anticipated movements of troops across Italy. I wouldn't be surprised if he's planning an invasion of Italy by France, and if I push the notion a bit further, I can well imagine that Bonaparte's cannons, financed by the Order, will be used for that purpose. The noose is tightening around poor Piaggi's neck without him even realizing it.
I don't know if I'm the best person to speak about that, Your Eminence.
Ich glaube nicht, dass ich mir eine Meinung anmaßen. Sollte ich das sagen? Vorgeben, keine Meinung zu haben. Oder sollte ich das sagen hier? Das ist jetzt eine gute Frage. Ich würde es ja... Wenn wir vorgeben, keine Meinung zu haben, können wir weiterhin den Unwissenden spielen. Würde aber mehr dazu passen, dass wir dann nach Mortimers Pfeife tanzen. Oder wir sind jetzt gleich mit dem Kopf durch die Wand mäßig, wisst ihr? Ich glaube, wir machen das mal.
Well, I think that the French army will enter Italy, and that the Vatican will do whatever France demands of it, if the Vatican wants to retain its place.
You are joking, I hope. Lord Mortimer, I did not come here to listen to such nonsense.
What makes you think that, Monsieur de Richet?
Well, Monsieur Bonaparte, here present, has ordered a large number of cannons, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were to be used to keep Italy under control.
Come, sir. What a strange idea. I have enough on my plate with issues in Corsica.
If you say so.
You see, you're...
But Corsica is not where the cannons are to be delivered, is it?
Aye, but... Louis, you are quick-witted. I like you.
You seem to be overlooking something, Messieurs les Français. I also have backers who would be only too pleased to demonstrate the full extent of their fervor by defending the Vatican. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
Wo ist sein Bein?
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare you!
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Boah, das ist ja hier zwischen Pest und Cholera entscheiden, verdammt nochmal. Wo ist denn Peru? Ich bin gegen Mortimer. Aber ich halte es gerade irgendwie für sinnvoller, bei ihm zu bleiben, oder? Obwohl ich das Gefühl habe, dass Home und, also, dass es wirklich zwischen Pest und Cholera ist. Denn Mortimer und Home habe ich das Gefühl, dass sie unter einer Decke stecken. Ich habe ja schon mal vermutet, dass das die Brüder sind, ne? Obwohl es heißt, dass sie nur Freunde sind. Ach, Kacke, Leute. Was macht man? Sagt mal an. Ich würde mich eigentlich gern noch hier jetzt in der Folge entscheiden. Aber erlaubt mir, wir sind nämlich schon bei 21 Minuten. Also Mortimer... Mutti ist jetzt unter anderem verschwunden, weil sie Mortimer nicht vertraut. Das ist ja uns jetzt schon klar, ne? Dass wir beiden nicht vertrauen, beiden Gruppierungen nicht. Gerade bin ich bei Peru noch bei der Person, der ich am ehesten vertrauen würde. Mein Timer geht gleich los. Deshalb, liebe Leute, wir machen an der Stelle schnell eine Pause, damit ich den Timer auch ausstellen kann. Und in der nächsten Folge entscheiden wir uns. Schreibt gerne in die Kommentare, wie ihr euch entscheiden würdet. Und dann gucken wir in der nächsten Folge, was ich draus gemacht habe. Also bis dann, liebe Leute. Tschüss.